as out of shape idiots on mainstream media. They're portrayed as these kind of, very out of shape, kind of bumbling idiots on everything when it comes to mainstream media, on TV shows, on movies, and everything in between. And this is low key programming because you guys, a lot of people just think that it's just TV. You hear this all the time. You hear that slogan. It's just TV. It's only TV. It's not real. But the thing about it is that art imitates life, or life imitates art. I keep forgetting which one it is, but I frequently say that it's really both. It's interchangeable. Art imitates life, and life imitates art. Meaning the things that you see on mainstream is either the movie or TV show is imitating what's going on in the real world, or the men are imitating what they see on movies and TV. And I think it's the latter. I think guys really imitate, or they get subconsciously programmed into thinking or behaving like what they see on TV. There's really no positive, strong cat. If you guys hear a baby in the background, that's my baby girl. She want to be part of the video too. But if you look on TV, you look at cartoons, what have you, the amount of positive and strong male presence or strong male characters is strongly declining. Like, I was born in '89, but I know a lot of superheroes back in the day. If you guys remember He-Man, y'all remember He-Man? Type a one in the chat if you guys remember He-Man. Now he's even too. That's older than my time as well. I'm 35, and He-Man was more like in the early '80s. But and I know it's just a cartoon, and I'm gonna get to my point here in a second. I'm gonna get to my thoughts here in a second. Yes, it was just a cartoon, but cartoons are an excellent way of programming, so to speak, because kids watch them, got bright colors, got loud music in it, has loud sounds. That's why my little daughter over here, she loves Bluey because it's real loud, real bright, and it's a perfect way to program. It's perfect way to program. But my point is, He-Man, if you guys don't know who He-Man is, if y'all are too young, go look up look up that cartoon. I mean, dude is jacked, right? Dude is jacked. Everyone on that damn cartoon was jacked. You had He-Man, you had Skeletor, and even though he was a skeleton, he was freaking buff, right? He was jacked. Then you had wrestling back in the day. You had WWF back when it was called WWF. You had strong, men that were dominant, that were assertive back then. And yes, let me get to my point of how some people say, oh, it's just TV, right? It's just TV. Well, the thing you guys don't realize is that TV is programming. Media is programming. The main reason, let me tell you guys something. The main reason of TV, movies, all of these programs was to sway the mass. That's why it's called a TV program. That's why only a certain group, a limited amount of companies and people own entertainment companies. Warner Brothers, Universal, Paramount, things of that nature, right? And it's not meant for entertainment per se. It's really meant to sway political agendas. It's meant to sway gender roles and things of that. It's meant to control the culture, And I know I'm going really deep on this, I'm going really deep on this, but it's the truth. It's meant to sway the mass population. So a lot of people talk about, entertainment should be in the hands of the people and stuff like that. It was never meant really for the average person. It was meant for those people who created it. It's their shit. It's like you creating something. Let's say your name is Steve and you create Steve Media. Of course, you're not going to let no one else try to take it because you created it. It's what you created it. So it's the same way with these media companies. It's not meant for the average person to take control of. It's meant for them to take control of. And of course, with these programs, with these movies, just pay attention to them, how they are nowadays. Nowadays, they portray men as very like bumbling idiots, right? Like they portray men kind of like they don't know what they're doing. They're kind of stumbling around. Their girl is always, or their wife is always screaming and bitching at them, right? And guys, please excuse the noise in the background. That's my baby girl. And it's like the chick is the one that is in control of everything. She's the one that wears the pants. And the man, nine times out of ten, the guy doesn't look strong, okay? Physically, kind of, it shows the dad bod. This whole thing with the dad bod. Yeah, another thing that they put out there for guys to fall for if you're not careful. All these guys have dad bods. All they do is sit down and drink beer, and their chick, their wife or whatever, is always getting on their case, making them look bad. And subconsciously, a lot of guys watch this type of stuff, And we all watch TV. We all watch movies. And a perfect example that I could think of is the show King of Queens. If you guys know that show, King of Queens, right? You guys know that show, King of Queens, or Everybody Loves Raymond, or a lot of these shows, even nowadays. And it shows the guy being super apologetic. He's always apologizing for shit. He's always apologizing for stuff, even though he's the one that's getting screamed at, right? And, guys watch this type of stuff and they grow up and subconsciously, not only with movies and stuff, but with a lot of other things in everyday life and everyday society. This is how society is shaped. It's shaped for dudes to kind of be kind of apologetic, not be proud of themselves. Because, things like that are frowned upon. They're going to call you an a-hole. They're going to be like, oh, he needs to get over himself. And it's not even a bad type of being proud of yourself. I know when you say the word proud, a lot of people go to the biblical definition of pride and stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself and being proud of your accomplishments. See, the thing about it is, when you accomplish things, when you accomplish body goals, when you accomplish the gym or you accomplish stuff in life, there's no reason for you to try to make yourself lower just to make other people feel comfortable, right? Now, I'm not saying to be a total a-hole. This is not what I'm saying at all. That's on the opposite spectrum. That's also terrible. You feel what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, yeah, like even a guy saying, yeah, I take care. Like, I'm gonna give you guys a perfect example. I'm gonna give you guys a perfect example of what I mean. Let's say, for instance, right? You're like, yeah, I hit the gym and I take care of myself and I work on my physique. I'm proud of my physique. You're going to hear some hate in the background. Why is that? Well, because like I said, this is how society is. It doesn't want men to really portray that kind of dominant, stronger persona. It wants people to act just like what they see on TV. Chandler and Ross from Friends were simps on Friends. I mean, yeah, they were kind of weak, kind of, bumbling, kind of, but they didn't have a strong presence. And I'm not trying to go extreme to that hyper macho BS, but they didn't have that strong masculine presence because that's not necessarily what society and the powers that be want. And I'm not gonna get on no Illuminati type of thing, okay? But just know that there are forces out there that do not really want men do not really want men to portray that kind of stronger, dominant type of attitude because it'll get shut down real quick. If you guys work a job or anything like that, they have so many rules and regulations that'll get you caught up. And a lot of that is to kind of make sure men are docile, make sure men stay in their place. Because this is how the elites keep people, not only with media, because we're talking about media here, right? We're talking about these movies, we're talking about these TV shows, all that good stuff. Not only with media, but they want to stifle men from knowing their true potential. Because what's the reason for that? Well, because there's less competition now. If the people at the top have all the power, they're not going to have competition. They're not going to have competition. Because if you get a group of guys that are going to be like, man, F this B, you know what I'm saying? F this BS, then there's going to be a problem, right? Like let's take, I'm going to use this, which is kind of unrelated to the video, but it's all good. I'm going to use it as an example. Kiro said, who texted more? Is it you or is it her? If it's you, bro, you got to pull out. Now, Sal, I appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, guys. If you feel like what I'm saying is benefiting you, if you feel like my videos benefit you, please hit that super chat or hit a like to help me out. But anyway, who texted more? Is it you or is it her? If it's you, bro, you got to pull out. Now, that necessarily, and I'm not picking on Kiro, right? That necessarily didn't have much to do with the video, but I can make a great illustration about this. So if a large group of men decided to stop chasing females, right? Because this is a huge issue. Okay? This is a huge issue in the manosphere. It's been talked about a lot of times about hey mama, that's my little daughter. It's a huge issue that's talked about in the manosphere about how men are constantly texting and communicating with women that aren't interested, right? Which is called chasing. Now, if a large group of men, come here, baby. If a large group, this is dad life, y'all. If a large group of men decided to be like, hey man, we're not taking this BS no more, right? We're not gonna sit here and try to jump through hoops just to impress females, right? We're not gonna jump through all these hoops and try to text a billion times. And after I text her one time, hey, look, if she don't answer, then that's it. I'm not gonna keep going at it over and over again, right? a lot of guys decided they're gonna stop doing that, then a lot of chicks would know what time it is. It's the same concept, same concept with if a large amount of men decided to kind of stand up and be like, hey, look, I'm tired of doing this whole kind of meek, kind of, oh, I'm just gonna be here like a mouse type of thing. And finally decided to be like, hey, look, I'm gonna start hitting the gym. I'm gonna get my physique right. I'm gonna be proud of hitting the gym. Cause I'm gonna tell you guys something. Even when I started hitting the gym a long time ago, and I always use the gym for a lot of examples because the gym is like my temple, right? But when I started getting into shape, when I started getting my body right, I was getting a lot of admiration, sexual attraction. At the same time, though, I was getting hate from people like, "Why are you doing that? Oh, you think you all that?" Kind of like negative stuff. I am thinking, "Hey, look, I'm doing a good thing by getting healthy, by getting my body right, right?" Well, apparently, some people think that you're being an a-hole when you do that. Some people think that, oh, look at him, he's trying to be strong, and look at him, he's toxic, all this type of stuff. Because manhood, masculinity is starting to not be associated with strength nowadays. They don't want that. They don't want that. Just take a look at, you can watch any Netflix movie and you see the dude, they make the guy pander to all of these feminine movements, and no offense to anyone's orientation, okay? No offense to anyone's orientation. You guys know what I'm talking about. But they always push it in these Netflix series and Netflix movies. You turn on a lot of these Netflix movies, and it's always gonna show either a guy being like, "Oh yeah, I totally support that rainbow movement," or this chick talking shit to me because I'm a man and I don't deserve to stand up for myself, or they show scenes of dudes, man on man action. You feel me? I'm living off D game. I'm lucky. DeAndre, that's what's up, bro. That's cool. It's more than just D though. See, it's more than just throwing D to random broads. Because to be honest, that's cool. But to be honest, men have power and discipline with their D. So it's okay if you live in that D game, right? If you're getting chicks to meet up with you for D and stuff, but that don't change the fact that don't really mean they respect you like that. And it don't really mean they respect men in general. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's not that hard to go out there, find some chick at a bar, and pipe her down. That's easy. That's easy. That's slight work. Even though I'm in a relationship, I'm just saying to a lot of guys. But improving that male image and kind of standing up for yourself is a different story. You know what I'm talking about? Girls like that are pretty loose. Girls like that ain't special. Well, you know what? The thing about it is, like I said, if more and more guys started waking up and being like, hey, look, all of this stuff that they're portraying on TV or they're portraying on social media, showing men being weak, showing them, there's a lot of this euphemism, ass kissing that you see on a lot of these shows and a lot of these movies. Like I said, it shows a guy real weak, and the chick will be like, "Oh, you're such a man," and typical man or typical whatever, and then the guy starts apologizing, like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It shows the dude like not standing up for himself. It shows the guy not standing up for himself. You know, and that's the same thing that I said earlier of the guys on top. They don't want competition. You know, they don't want competition. They don't want dudes to realize their potential. You know, they don't want guys to realize their potential. They want dudes to stay kind of bootlicking and being submissive. You know? So, all right, fellas, I got a 10. You right, bro. Now movie, one of them days, makes the dude look weak. I just watched this. I think that's the one with SZA, if I'm not mistaken. SZA and that other broad, one of them days. Yeah, it's very now in movies they're putting females in these masculine roles, right? They're putting females in these masculine roles. And it shows chicks as these heroic, strong, you know, I'm gonna save the day, I'm gonna come and save the day, and it makes the dude look weak as hell. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, look, but we all know naturally and biologically, a lot of times, you know, naturally and biologically, men are the ones that are the physical ones. Men are the ones are the physical ones, and if you think this is a social construct, go out there and interact with women. If you think, because a lot of guys that are kind of naive will say, "Oh, gender roles are a construct." I'm gonna tell you this: go out there and interact with these chicks, and act like how these men are portrayed on these movies and shows and all of that. Kind of weak, kind of apologetic, saying sorry a billion times and trying to prove himself. You know, go out there and do that and see how bad it is. Because these chicks, deep down inside, they still want a dude that's masculine. That movie Fight Club was a wake-up call. Yes, I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I'm telling you, when you interact with these women out and about, acting like the effeminate sort of, oh, I'm open-minded, yeah, I'm open-minded and women are queens and all that. Do that and watch how these chicks start acting. This is where the friend zone comes in. This is where the you're a brother comes in, right? You're gonna turn into one of the girlfriends. Because what's essentially attractive is the polar opposites. You know, what's sexually attractive is polar opposites. See what is attractive to us, what's attractive to us is not attractive to women. Meaning being all soft, and I'm not saying, guys, once again, I'm not saying to be a douchebag or an a-hole, okay? But being a soft, like, oh yeah, you're a queen, girl power, and euphemism, you guys are queens and men are pieces of crap, and talking bad about men and kind of just having no backbone and letting the woman do all the man stuff, right? You guys do that, and it's gonna be that's not attractive. That's gonna be a bad day for you. See, that's what we like, and that's what men like in women. We like women that are softer. We like women that aren't gonna be bucking up and, oh, what you talking about, and I don't gotta do that, and having a boss chick attitude, so to speak. I don't need no man. I don't need a man and all that. You know, we hear this rhetoric all the time. That's not what we like. We like chicks that are more softer, that are not all bucking up on you and trying to act like macho man, right? But for women, it's the opposite. They look for qualities like that in a man, like more dominant, a little more aggressive, a little more direct, kind of being more direct. Because think about it like this. Physicality wise, right? Women like men that are physically fit and that are hard to the touch. If my men that are in shape, you know when a woman is grabbing onto you, holding on to you, she feeling that hardness. She's feeling your physique, right? She likes that kind of that hardness to you. It's the same way personality wise. She's looking for a guy that is a little more harder, that's direct, that's a little more aggressive. And you see this in a very toxic type of way where chicks go for guys that are, I guess, criminals. They like guys that are criminals. Now this is the extreme toxic, and those type of chicks are toxic. But this goes to show you that they kind of look for those sort of aggressive traits. Like I said, those are toxic chicks. I'm not talking about the average women, okay? I'm not talking about regular women. Now they do look for certain characteristics, right, that are a little more aggressive. Not a damn criminal, but a little more aggressive, right? They want a dude that's kind of, hey, look, if she says something that you don't like, go ahead and tell her that. Go ahead and convey that. Yeah, it might hurt her little feelings for a quick second, but she's gonna be like, okay, that was kind of sexy, right? That was kind of sexy, and I respect him for speaking up. I respect him for not apologizing, and because a lot of guys will, this is what, once again, this is what mainstream media will put out there. It'll show a guy apologizing for some shit that he didn't even do. It'll show a dude apologizing for something that wasn't even his fault. And he'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. And the chick will be all mad. But in real life, hey, look, you speaking up is going to make her respect you, and it's going to turn her on deep down inside. She might not even say it out loud. But she's going to respect it, and it's going to make her a little wet on the inside that you showed that little bit of aggression. Not in a bad way, not in an unhealthy way, but in that healthy type of way. Like, nah, I don't mess with that. But most guys, what they do, because of this programming, because of watching a whole bunch of these TV shows and movies, what they're going to do is they're going to apologize a billion times and try to make things right with the chick instead of being like, hey, look, it is what it is. Right? Hey, you might not like it, but it is what it is. Like, I'm going to use an example. Let's say, a chick, you out and about with her, and she says something that you don't agree with. Now, don't make a full-blown argument about it. Don't make a full-blown argument, but you could be like, hey, look, I disagree. And that's not my viewpoint. I don't jive with that. And she'll be like, oh, really? And be like, yeah, well, that's just my opinion. And she might, like I said, hey, look, she might be a little offended, or she might not like what you said. But if she's rocking with you, she's going to be like, okay, he stood up for himself. I like that. Because that shows a sign of a dude who is willing to go against something. And deep down inside, even if you don't want kids, it shows the ability of you being a good protector. It shows the ability of you, hey, look, if you see something that is off, if you see something that you don't agree with, you're willing to protect the family. That's deep down inside what she's thinking. But if you agree with everything and you apologize for everything, she'll be like, dang, this dude, it's too easy. It's too easy for me. He's acting just like the guys on TV that I see. He's acting just like the dudes that be on TV. And that's what it's meant to do. You know, it's meant to program guys like that. Get them likes up, fellas. If you like what you're seeing, get them likes up so this live stream will spread. Okay? And TV and music and all of that stuff and movies are a great way. They are a great way to spread this type of message. You feel me? So anyway, with that being said, man, I got to get back to daddy duties. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.